She accidentally slipped into the Orca pool. Within moments, Tilikum grabbed her. In Canada, a tragedy unfolded at Sealand of the Pacific on February 20th, 1991. Kelty Byrne, a 20-year-old marine biology student, had been working as a trainer with 3 orcas.
Apparently, there had been some tension between these 2 females for a number of weeks.
Kelty surfaced briefly, screaming for help, but being pulled under again. Trainers rushed to the scene, throwing life rings and banging buckets, but the whales ignored the commands. For nearly 2 hours, rescuers tried to recover her body as the orcas repeatedly pulled it away. By the time she was retrieved, it was too late. Kelty had already drowned. The incident shocked Canada and raised concerns about orca captivity. Sealand closed permanently soon afterward.
To the human audience, it's a kennel to this animal.
Tilikum, however, was later transferred to SeaWorld Orlando, where his story continued. Years later, another life was lost under far different circumstances.
Found dead in a killer whale's tank at SeaWorld. The victim is Daniel T. Dukes from South Carolina.
On July 1999, 27-year-old Daniel Dukes was found dead inside Tilikum's tank at SeaWorld Orlando. Dukes had evaded security and remained in the park overnight.
He was a young man that had been arrested not long before he snuck into SeaWorld.
At some point, he entered the orca's pool. The next morning, staff discovered his lifeless body floating on Tilikum's back. The autopsy revealed drowning and multiple traumatic injuries.
There was some tension there that was simply completely artificial. It never would have existed in the wild.
His clothes had been removed, and his body bore signs of bites and abrasions.
All of the stress from an artificial environment has resulted in dozens of serious injuries to trainers.
The death was ruled as an accident, but it raised serious questions about the risks of keeping such a powerful animal in captivity. But tragedy struck yet again in 2009 at Loro Park in Tenerife, Spain. The park had received 4 SeaWorld-owned orcas, including Keto, a 14-year-old male. On December 24th, trainer Alexis Martinez entered the water during a rehearsal. Keto suddenly turned aggressive, striking Alexis and pulling him underwater. Despite rescue attempts, Alexis could not be saved. The autopsy revealed severe injuries, including broken bones and internal trauma. His death occurred just 2 years after another trainer had survived an attack at the same park by the orca Tamare. The connection between the 2 incidents fueled criticism about orca captivity and the risks trainers face daily. But this was not the only time a trainer's life would hang in the balance. Stephen Eibel was a veteran SeaWorld trainer with nearly 2 decades of experience in San Antonio. He had built a strong bond with Kai, a 9,000-pound, 22-foot-long orca. On July 27, 2004, a routine performance turned into a frightening struggle. Steve entered the tank with Kai, who at first performed flips and spins with precision. The crowd cheered, unaware of what was about to happen next. During the show, Kai suddenly stopped responding to the signals. His gaze shifted, and his movements became unpredictable. Without warning, Kai charged at Steve, slamming into him with powerful force. The impact left Steve struggling to stay afloat. Some in the audience thought it was part of the act, but the aggression quickly became obvious. Kai pushed Steve underwater and tossed him violently around the pool. At the water's edge, other trainers slipped the surface, threw fish, and tried emergency cues to distract the orca. Nothing was working. Steve fought to remain calm, avoiding sudden movements that might provoke further attacks. Each time Kai released him, he tried to swim towards safety, only to be pulled under again.
Help me out! Help me out! Help me out there! Quick! Quick! Pull me out of the water!
Finally, after several minutes of chaos, Kai released his grip long enough for Steve to escape. Bruised and shaken, he climbed out of the tank as the audience sat in stunned silence. But the most publicized tragedy came only months later.
A Dine with Shamu performance with Dawn.
Likely she saw what had gone on during the main show.
On February 24th, 2010, Dawn Brancho, a senior trainer at SeaWorld Orlando, was killed by Tillicum. Dawn had worked with orcas for years and was considered one of the park's most experienced trainers.
More pressure to do a good show.
That afternoon, after a Dine with Shamu show, Dawn was at the poolside with Tillicum. Witnesses reported that the orcas grabbed her, pulling her into the water.
When you watch the whole video, you can see that Tillicum is actually really with Dawn.
He dragged her violently, refusing to let go despite frantic efforts by other staff. The struggle lasted over 30 minutes.
There's a couple of behaviors that she asked him to do.
Tillicum held Dawn underwater, struck her repeatedly, and prevented any rescue attempts. When he finally released her, it was too late.
And he does exactly what she asked him to do.
The autopsy listed drowning and blunt force trauma as the cause of death. Her death sparked international outrage and triggered investigations into SeaWorld's practices. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration later banned waterwork with orcas in the United States. While Dawn's death became the most widely known, several other trainers had survived terrifying encounters before her. In 2007 at Laura Park, a trainer was attacked by the orca Tamare. During a session, Tamare grabbed the female trainer and dragged her deep underwater. She fought desperately to escape, surfacing only before being pulled down yet again. Eventually, she managed to break free. That same year at SeaWorld San Antonio, another trainer faced a similar ordeal. Quat, a massive 5,000-pound orca, pinned a female trainer at the bottom of the pool. She was unable to surface as the audience watched in horror. Other trainers intervened, splashing, shouting, and throwing food until Quat finally released her. She survived, but the attack shows the risk of water interactions, even with experienced trainers.
SeaWorld is keeping a close eye on a killer whale blamed for killing a trainer.
Each of these incidents revealed the unpredictable and dangerous nature of working with captive orcas. The trainers were skilled, the routines carefully rehearsed, but none of it could eliminate the risk. Which one of these moments shocked you most? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying real-life stories.